Hi everyone, I'm Harold.
And I'm Brayden.
And we're here
to talk trikes.
Today, we're going to be talking about the Joe Schmo who's looking to do a little bit more with trike riding. You're coming from a basic cycling experience or no cycling experience, and you've seen those crazy people out there going on touring adventures. We talked with Jan about the race across America, and you want to work up to that. Today, we want to talk about a couple trikes you can consider if you're looking to either train or get up to a touring level, and a couple of accessories as well that you might want to consider.
I think an even more broad approach the people are looking for here in these videos. You know, I'm looking to do X type of riding. Yeah. What do you recommend? Right.
Perfect.
So just to start off and throw it at you, I'm Joe Schmo looking to do X amount of riding. I want to take my trike off-road. I have a trike now. I'm either unhappy with how it performs off-road, or I just want something that's going to handle it better. What are the key ingredients I am looking for in handling off-road?
First thing we're looking at, size of the tire. Size and width of the tire. It's going to be the most important thing. When I think off-road, I'm thinking gravel, I'm thinking loose dirt, I'm thinking off the beaten path. I want to have something that can grab up as much loose terrain as possible. So I want at least a 4-inch wide knobby tire that can be able to take that, so I'm not going to get stuck anywhere. I also want to make sure I have really good climbing gears, something like a 11 by 42 tooth cassette in the back, so I can have a really nice low range. Even better, getting an internally geared hub, since I'm already going to be out there in the boonies. Mm-hmm. I don't want to worry about maintenance too much, so if I can eliminate that, that's what I want.
I nail this topic every time we do a trike talk, anytime I'm talking to a customer. If you don't want to worry about gearing at all, always add a motor. There's no option here we're going to talk about in touring, racing, off-road, that a motor's not going to help you. Unless you're talking strictly racing and you have specific races in mind, they may or may not allow you to have a motor.
Right.
But
they probably won't.
If you want to talk about ease of use and not worrying about your correct gearing or gear ratio, a motor just kind of
eliminates that. It's the great equalizer in the trike world.
I didn't mean to cut you off, though.
It's perfect.
You're talking about off-road trikes in specific, and you went straight into tire width and size. I would like to just throw it back at you. A lot of trike brands claim to have off-road trikes, right? HP has the Scorpion, AZA does the Tie-Fly models. These are off-road trikes,
absolutely,
and they do not come with 4-inch tires. Right. So what off-road are these going to excel at that where you might want a 4-inch tire?
Or with a 4-inch tire. I mean, the kind of off-road that a 3-inch wide tire like the Enduro, HP Enduro has and the Tie-Fly X have. Those are going to be more of your packed down dirt trails with gravel as well. And then you're going to be able to easily transfer back onto pavement and be able to do a mix of that. That's your mixed terrain touring. Or with the 4-inch wide, that is where, you know, I'm locked in the off-road. I'm taking these. I'm going to be sheep herding with these. I've had that brought up to me where guys like, I'm working in a farm. I want to have something I can take out there. I'm looking at something like the Ice Full Fat. I'm looking at something like the Sunseeker Fat Tad CXS, you know, with those wide tires. If I know I'm not going to be doing anything mixed, I'm only doing an off-road. Pavement riding is not the greatest on the 4-inch wide. They are heavy. They are taking up as much dirt and terrain as they can. They will wear down your tires really fast if you have knobbies. Where with something like a 3-inch wide mixed tire that has a slight of a knob, but still a road tread down the middle, that's going to be great for mixing it up.
Sure. And on the topic of heavy-duty off-road 4-inch tires, if I'm going to go sand or beach, sand or beach. If I'm going to go sandy beach. If I'm going to go sand or snow, 4-inch tire, that extra traction, digging in extremely loose terrain here is sometimes required, a necessity. You know, so they definitely have their place. But I don't know if a lot of people are going to be doing both. Other reasons that you probably want to go 4-inch and stay fat, comfort riding.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely.
And they do make 4-inch tires that are street ready. We do see XSs, full fats, fatties, V3s, D3s, all the time. All the threes for on-road riding, right? So just because you get a fat tire, yes, it excels in off-road riding. Doesn't mean you're limited to off-road riding.
Exactly.
But that is the purpose.
That
was the intended use.
Yeah.
To throw just the next thing at you, right? Unless you have more on off-road.
No, that pretty much covers it, I think.
I'm Joe Schmo. I have X Trike. I am now looking to get into long distance touring.
Sure.
what are the big hitters I'm looking for in long distance? It doesn't even necessarily have to be off-road. I mean, pavement, long miles, distance riding.
Long miles. I mean, it depends on how long of a distance are you thinking. I'm going out for a day and then coming back on that same day, or it's me and the trike against the elements. We're going out for a long time. If I'm going out for same day riding, I'd make sure you want to carry some stuff with you at least. But in both cases, you want to carry some stuff with you. You want to have some sort of cargo bag or a cargo rack that has a bag on it. Take the basic health things you would need. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have sunscreen as well. Sunscreen's
I like
always
to pack a little
good.
med kit, a little box
Med
of
kit as well. You
Band-Aids
never
just
know
in
what you
case.
might run into. Even a little patch kit and some things to help you do some quick on-the-spot repairs, maybe an extra tube and things like that. When it comes to long-term touring and you don't know what you're going to expect, I'd get a trike like we talked about before that can do more of the all-terrain, like the Fly X, or even something like our V series that has those larger wheels so it can take on more terrain. And then you also want to have more storage options for that. That's when you're going to start looking at side bags, like the seat side mount kits that have the Ortlieb bags that you can stuff more and more into.
I'm glad you brought up the Fly X, and when we're talking about touring, being big 26-inch, 2-inch wide all the way around, does a very good mixed terrain, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're going to go long distance pavement and you're going to hit some gravel roads along the way, that 26-inch tire is going to be for your benefit.
Absolutely.
I would argue if you're sticking into pavement riding, I'm really not getting off the road very much. The few times I do are really an accident. I didn't account for it.
Right.
Something with a 26-inch rear, 20-inch front helps you roll faster, right?
Like
so
the Dumont,
Dumont
the
559, Fly 26.
Ice Adventure 26, anything like that.
These are, when I think touring, these are my touring trikes,
Absolutely.
right? Long distance pavement riding tours. I want something that keeps rolling and I don't have to constantly pedal to keep that wheel turning.
Right.
Having that large wheel that just kind of throws its gravity, working with the small wheels. I mean, it's just, it's like gears in a car,
Right.
Big wheel, little wheel, roll. I'm going to roll farther.
Absolutely. Less work on you too. I mean, you're not going to be fighting as much if you are only planning on pavement. You want to make it as easy as possible, especially if you're touring. And then, of course, when we talk about ease of use, consider getting a motor as well.
Right.
That's
Again,
going to make it. It's just going to extend out your range.
there's nothing in specific riding that we're talking about that is going to hurt you having a motor.
Yep.
Unless my next topic, racing.
There you go.
When we're talking racing trikes, there's a couple that immediately come to mind, right? There are the official racing trikes, VTX, Cat Trike 700, the Carbon Trike, and then you're like pseudo racing, touring trikes, Sprint X Tour, Expedition.
Right.
I would even say like Fly 26. These are your pseudo racing trikes that do both, right?
Right.
But if we're talking strictly racing, right, I'm really limited down to these three, and then some other various models from different trike brands. The Magnum, not Magnum, Greenspeed has one, and TerraTrike have their racing models. But these are really for your diehard, I'm racing.
Right. That's when you're getting into the weeds with gearing. What's the highest gear ratio I can get? What's my highest cadence I can get, and things like that.
And that's when I think, and again, you'll never find a racing trike that is big fat tire or 26-inch front, 26-inch rear. They're always 700C. In the pseudos, they're 26s in the rear.
Right.
I mean, these are your big rolling wheels. So
that's where you're cutting down as much weight as possible. That's where you start seeing carbon fiber components, carbon fiber wheels, carbon fiber cranks, and things like that.
Right. And talking accessories, I mean, we got into accessories for touring trikes, and a lot of those are just things to help you keep rolling.
Right.
I would argue the same thing with fat tires, right?
Yeah.
You want puncture resistance. You probably want an air pump. The same thing I think you take on off-roading, you would take on long touring.
Right.
Racing's interesting because you want to pack light, right?
Right.
So maybe a tube, right? If you don't have like
tube,
if you're not
patch
officially
kit.
racing with a team that's following you with all of the stuff you need to keep going, just the necessities. So patch kit, tube,
chain tools,
maybe. I mean, I think you check your chain, it's a good chain before you go. Your drive chain should be thoroughly checked. you know, but you're not going to carry things like a rack with cargo. You know, you don't need a cargo bag slowing
weight,
you
that's
down.
less speed.
So when Joe Schmo comes in and he's like, I want to do this specific thing, there are very specific answers to those for the most part. Unless we're talking those pseudo trikes, right? The Sprint X Tour being kind of a tour and race, the fat tires kind of being a mix of, yeah, you can get off-road knobby, but you can do street if you're looking for that street ride.
For that plush comfort.
There's always that like middle ground, so you don't always have to go to the extreme. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend the extreme most of the time, right?
But unless you're a diehard tourer, a diehard racer, diehard off-roader.
I think you would be doing yourself a disservice by coming here and getting a racing trike as your first trike.
Yep.
At least for me, I'm a big guy. I don't think any of the racing trikes are particularly comfortable.
Right. If you're coming straight from a racing bike and you've never ridden a trike before, some of those pseudo racing trikes that you talked about would be a good option to kind of get your feet wet. And when you get used to the trike mechanics, then you can get more advanced into something like the 700
and
carbon trike.
There's a group of trikes we didn't talk about that it's hard to. I mean, they don't classify into specific groups, right? And that Sunseeker EcoTad, Cat Trike Villager, Cat Trike Trail to a regard. These aren't bad trikes, and I don't mean to say that they are. They're bad because they don't do off-road and they're not the fastest and they're not touring. That's not it. I think they're really your jack of all trade trikes, right? They're going to do everything. I don't think they're masters of any of them, except maybe comfort, right? In some regards. I think the Cat Trike Max is arguably the most comfortable trike, which I know people are going to go, I hate the seat pad and I like it compared, the ice seat, I think is more comfortable. Maybe, I don't know. I really like my Max. I've never been unhappy with it.
It's my tush.
So there's a group of these middle ground trikes that don't excel in each one category, but they excel in what I want them to do. You know? And that's the key.
You're coming off the lot, you've ridden bikes before, and you're just like, I want something to commute. I want something to go ride with my kids and do. These trikes are going to be the way to do it. They have comfortable gearing, comfortable seats, a lot of options that you can upgrade into as you develop your riding style and things like that. I totally agree with you. I think these are good trikes to consider if you're not sure where you're going to be, but you know that you just want something to go and cruise with.
And all of this video really to say, we could talk trike theory, we could talk, which kind of riding you're going to do, really till the cows come home here on this video. I don't expect you guys to know all of that. That's why we're here.
That's the discussion.
So
we're talking a little bit about it.
If you guys are in the market and you're looking for those trikes and you're curious about what trikes you should get for the particular riding you're going to do, that's mine and his job. Give us a call, send us an email, leave us a comment, message us on Live Help. Hey, this is the riding I'm doing. These are my health concerns. What am I looking for?
Help me make a decision there, and we'll do our best.
We're here to help.
There'll be a discussion.
If you can, come with some ideas, help us a little bit. But
if you
that's
can
what we're
make it
here
here and test ride trikes, even better. You don't even have to make it here. If you have a local dealer that has something that you're interested in or something that we mentioned, go to them. Go support your local economy. I'm sure they'd be happy to help continue the discussion from where we live it. And of course, guys, like Brayden said, share, subscribe, ring that bell, comment, start a discussion. We want to know a little bit more about what you guys are riding for touring, racing, and commuting and everything like that.
Why did you get the trike you ride every day?
That's what we want to hear, and if you have any other questions that we don't even cover in this video, you think it's just a good trike talk topic, leave it below. We'd love to hear it. Remember to join our newsletter. Hannah has that out every Friday with trike stories and exciting developments in the trike world. And then remember
to relax, spin fast, and ride trikes.
Have a good one, guys.